The 1960s represent one of the great epochs in American history. That period involved widespread social upheaval and continued protest on the part of those Americans who considered themselves disenfranchised from the American mainstream. Through it all, Black Americans emerged as the principal actors for political, social, and economic change. The ethic of resistance to oppression as the basis of making strong appeals for justice has always been a part of the Black protest tradition. Unlike in the 1950s, though, there emerged out of the Black community a number of militant groups that turned their backs on the philosophy of nonviolence that so permeated the previous decade. Leaders of those earlier organizations tended to think of racism as some type of moral defect in the conscience of white America. For them, America needed a cleansing of its conscience, a moral reform. Conversely, according to these newly founded militant groups, white America had no conscience, hence it was fruitless to talk about moral reform. In the minds of these militants, what was needed was power to bring about the redistribution of wealth. Among these groups were the Congress of African Peoples, US, the Revolutionary Action Movement, the Deacons for Defense and Justice, and the Republic of New Africa. But none of these groups commanded the attention and captured the imagination of the American people as did the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, as it was originally called, was established in Oakland, California in October 1966 by Huey P. Newton and Bobby G. Seale. Even though the organization was co-founded by Seale and Newton, Newton was and is recognized as the unquestioned leader of the Black Panther Party. Newton was the group's Minister of Defense and chief ideologist. Approximately 30 books have been written about the Black Panther Party since its founding. However, none of them presents or examines the ideas of its leader in an expansive or systematic fashion. This book attempts to fill that void. It is not a biography, but rather a work that presents and to some extent analyzes the political thought of Huey P. Newton. This book attempts to do what Newton's critics and other scholars have not done, and that is to take an objective and, to some extent, critical look at a number of ideas, issues, and theories that Newton raised and grappled with in his quest to combat racial, gender, and class oppression.